What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday. Y'all know what that means. We are about to have us a good old time talking about all the news from the week in the entertainment world. Shout out to all the E-Vengers out there and the E-Fam. Also, shout out to the Replay Gang as well. Just a quick little mention. Looks like we do not have the most topics that we normally do. For this week, the news was a little dry. It was a little dry, but that's okay because we're gonna talk about some things, and I'm gonna have y'all in before your bedtime, so don't you worry about that. But first and foremost, let us see who is in the building today. Oh, wait. First, housekeeping notes. Next Friday, there will not be a live. That is because this time it's going to be the Mrs. birthday. So next week is Mrs. E-Man's birthday, and I'm going to take her out on a semi-hot date, and we're going to have us a good old time on Friday. And I will potentially reschedule a live for Saturday. So stay tuned. Keep your notifications on. Follow me on Twitter. That's where I always announce when I'm going live. But nothing on Friday. More than likely it'll be on Saturday. Depending on what it's her birthday. It's gonna be her birthday weekend. So who knows? Like plans could change, but again, just make sure you follow and I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on. So no live Friday. Next Friday. All right. Let's see who's in the building and say what's up to them. Screaming Monkeys here. What's going on? Good to see you. Another vet and top mod squad, top returning vet in the building. SJ Evans, thank you so much for making it out. Let's see. Gray is here. What's going on, brother? Another vet. We got another top mod in the building with Kristen Pratt. How you doing, ma'am? Thank you for holding it down. And y'all make sure you go do that Wakanda Forever Challenge. My man Jason Rodriguez is here. What's going on, sir? Thank you so much for making it out. Appreciate you. We got our first comment. My goodness, the support is early. Thank you so much to Deborah Rodriguez. Hi, E-Man and E-Family. Hope everyone had a good week. How is Kobe? Man, can he go trick-or-treating? Recast the T'Challa Wakanda Forever Challenge. Deborah, you have terrible timing. Woo! So today, when it came to Kobe, all right, here's the thing. Kobe we've been switching out his food because like we're getting him into dry food instead of the fresh wet food that he had, right? Because that stuff is expensive. So I know that you're supposed to, do 25% of the new food, then 50%, 75%, gradual transition, right? Got it. But unfortunately, the past couple days, as I'm sure most of you know, sometimes dogs will have diarrhea or, stomach issues or whatever, right? Okay, no big deal. He's been getting better. Okay, so I'm just saying he's been getting better. So the reason why I bring that up is because normally when Kobe has to really, really go, he will whine, he will cry, he'll look you in the eyes with the little sad puppy dog eyes and all that. Like he will let you know, yo, we gotta go, right? So recently, he got that out of his system. The dry food been drying him up, everything been decent. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like you're good, right? I take him out of his crate and I'm playing with him, I'm petting him. We playing, with his toys and stuff. I'm giving him like new little treats and everything. Like, yo, man, we having a good old time. Just a man with his dog, right? Having a good old time. My wife comes home with the kids and everything. They playing with Kobe. Everything is all good. Kobe going upstairs. He going downstairs, and he coming around. He just playing, just doing normal dog stuff, right? So I'm walking around and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to feed Kobe. And then let me go ahead and I was like, hold on. Is one of my kids upstairs just taking a whole dump? Because I'm like, if y'all don't close the door, because little kids be nasty sometimes. They take a whole poop and they just be leaving the door open. I'm like, would y'all like spray upstairs? Do something. Like, don't be it's got to be funky. If its smell is coming all the way from upstairs, hitting the nostrils downstairs on the first level, that's not right. And I'm asking the kids, I'm like, are one of y'all doing something upstairs? Because it stank. And they're like, no, nobody did anything. And I'm like, what? But it smells so. Kobe! This dog did a fresh poop in the living room as if he was 4 months old again. When I tell you, I was so upset and so disappointed because, like I said, Kobe will let you know when he needs to go out. He will whine, he'll cry, he'll bark, he'll go stand by the door. He'll do all these things. This dog sat here, had the nerve to act like everything was normal. All right, we gonna play with this toy. We gonna eat this little snack. We gonna chase the little kids, poop. Then we gonna go ahead and play with some toys. And then I'm gonna go lay down like everything's cool. You stank with your boo-boo butt. You stank. And you just gonna leave that pile right there like ain't nothing. Like, I could see if you was like, sick or something like that, and you went, I could see that. Bro, you had full control. You had full control, and you just let that go on the hardwood floor like that. Locked up. It's done. He's back. Every time. You know what? I just got done watching the Dahmer series. I'm not finished. I'm on episode like 8 of 10 or whatever. And I swear I might change Kobe's name to Kobe Dahmer. Because Kobe, every time you want to give him a chance, he goes and messes up. Every time. Just like Dahmer. Dahmer had 50 million chances and kept acting up. So, Deborah, to your initial question, Kobe is locked up right now. He is on punishment because every time he earns some time off and we trust him to like be out, he acts up. And that to me was like, that's a big no-no. So you need more training. Back in the crate you go. But thank you, Deborah, for that. I really appreciate you. Kobe! Anywho, let's see. Who else has made it out tonight? Let's see. We got Rim17. That's another top mod, top vet in the building. Thank you so much for holding it down with the rest of the crew. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up as well. Let's see. Kimmy J is in the building. Good to see you. Thank you so much for making it out. Fatine, hello. Good to see you. My man, Minister Crush, is in the building. Always a pleasure. Cynthia Charles is back. Thank you so much for making it out tonight. Ms. Harper, she's here. Hopefully you are not working or not working too hard. But thank you so much for making it out. My little homie, Intergalactic Space Captain, is here. What's going on, Aubrey? Hey, by the way, we're doing a Black Panther watch party. Tell your mama it's about to go down. Tell her don't buy nobody else's tickets. Don't go buy a ticket. We gonna do this again. Okay, so just keep watch. But thank you so much for making it out tonight. Let's see. Jay Mart is here. What's going on? Shaul, good to see you as well. Let's see. Carmike, I see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Under the weather, Bo. Oh, man. Bo, I hope you get better and feel better soon. Thank you for making it out tonight, though. I hope, everything we talk about today is going to raise your spirits up. Let's see. Shauna's back. Thank you so much for making it out. Really appreciate you. Who else? I see DJ Payne is in the building. Good to see you. Oh, see me. Hello. Good to see you too. Let's see. Alexander's in the building. Hello. Let's see. Mr. Seed, what's going on? How you doing? Wait, no, we got Screaming Monkey already. Who else? I saw. So there we go. Tyra's here. Good to see you. Thank you for coming back. Treble Clef, another vet in the building. Good to see you. Leslie, hello, hello. Pamela, what's going on? Alib, hello, hello. Good to see you. It's another Mod Squad vet in the building. The King, T'Challa, is in the building. Good to see you. Let's see. Treese is back. Good to see you too. Callow, hello, hello. Mama J is in the building. Always a pleasure. My main man, Derek Gaines, is here. What's going on, sir? Thank you for making it out. Let's see. Queen Bee's here. Terrence is here. My man Didier's here. Love to see the regular crew coming through. Let's go. Ladela or Ladela. Hello, hello. Kano's back. Good to see you too. And shout out to everybody that has made it out tonight. I really appreciate you all making the effort to come out and hang out with me. Definitely is always a pleasure. Let's see. We got another one here. What we got here from Dancing Dog? Thank you so much. EFAM is the best. Recast T'Challa. Hashtag Black Adam, Hawkman, Cyclone, Dr. Fate, and Superman. Yes to all of that. Looking forward to when do I have? I think I'm supposed to watch Black Adam, I think next week. I don't know, but I'm about to watch it soon. So stay tuned. I will let y'all know how it is. But thank you so much for that, Dancing Dog. Appreciate you. Brian Davison is back. Always a pleasure to have the vets in the building. What's going on? Thank you so much for making it out. Let's see, and thank you for that support. There we go. My main man, Matthew Collins, just finished She-Hulk and Werewolf by Night. Enjoyed both. Todd made me cringe with his Wakanda Forever, Recast T'Challa, and Man Thing, aka Ted with the save. I'm rooting for everyone. Yes. Thank you so much for that, Matthew. I appreciate you. And I try to tell y'all, like, Werewolf by Night, it's pretty decent. It's decent. Like, I've been saying that I kind of sort of wish and hope that maybe Marvel starts to get the idea that, like, maybe you don't need a whole 6 episodes of a show with a bunch of filler and short run times. Like, maybe you should just drop specials, or maybe you just put them all together and just release them as a Disney Plus movie. Like, maybe that might be better, I don't know, but Werewolf by Night worked for me. I thought it was really good. So anywho, let's see who we got. Friga's Belt back from Van Ham's for fall equinox ceremony. Oh, okay. Well, hey, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope you had a good time. All right, let's see. What do we have for our first topic? Boom. We do finally, oh my gosh, it has been forever since we've had a Spawn update from Todd McFarlane. As y'all might have known, Todd McFarlane has been talking about this movie since I don't know for how long. I mean, my goodness, it's been just gosh, I don't like, honestly, I was starting to think that it just wasn't gonna happen. And the one thing that was like kind of, it was reported that Jamie Foxx was gonna be he was gonna play Spawn. And from what I heard from sources, was that the biggest delay in the Spawn movie was the fact that, like, studios were maybe not too keen on having Todd McFarlane himself direct the movie. So obviously Todd is he is the creator of Spawn and all that. But just because you created something doesn't always mean that you know how to direct. Like, that's a big movie with a probably a decent sized budget. I don't know if you just want to throw it into the hands of a comic book creator, because being a director and being like a comic book writer, artist, whatever, those are two different things. Like, it's two different skill sets. You know what I'm saying? So, it's almost like, I wouldn't even say it's the same thing, but it's a whole different thing. And you really need to have, I would say, much more experience before you could just jump into something like this. And listen, if I were Todd McFarlane, if I were let's say I created a character or whatever, right? And I wanted a movie of that character. I'm not about to jump in and make that my first go round, because I would want and hope that if and when that movie, my vision, comes to life, it's in the right hands. And yes, I trust myself to a point, but I'm not going to sit here and believe that I can be like, a Scorsese or Spielberg or whoever right out the jump. Like, a lot of times directors need time to get better. You learn things along the way. But anyway, even though this movie's been in hiatus for so long, we do finally have an update, and that is that they finally have some new writers, and the writers are the same ones from Joker and Captain America 4. So Scott Silver, Malcolm Spellman, and rising screenwriter Matt Mixon are penning a new script for the film, which still has Jamie Foxx attached, at least so far. So I guess that is pretty good news, that Jamie Foxx is still on there. I'm gonna be very, very honest. As much as I do like Jamie Foxx, I don't envision Jamie Foxx as Spawn, and I'm willing to change my mind like once it actually happens. And I know this is very biased. I'm just kind of like, Jamie has a very soft voice. He doesn't have a lot of bass. And, listen, that's not a bad thing. I mean, my man's super talented. He's a singer. He does all that. I'm just saying, when you compare, because this is what's stuck in my head, Michael Jai White with Jamie Foxx. Michael Jai White made me scared of Spawn when I was a kid. Like, I was like, oh, I don't want to run up on him. But Jamie Foxx, I mean, like, you know, eh, what do you want to do? Go to hell? Like, no, bro, like that ain't really finna scare me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not saying Jamie can't act. I ain't saying that. I need to see it to believe it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm willing to give him a shot. It's just hard for me to go for Michael Jai White and see Jamie Foxx jumping into that role. So that's just my take. I'm not knocking him in that way. It's just I don't know if I can get there with them. But anyway, they got Malcolm Spellman. He's the same one who did Empire, and he did Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he's writing Captain America 4 with y'all boy Anthony Mackie. I will say, and Scott Silver from Joker. And I don't know about y'all, but I really enjoyed Joker from a writing standpoint. A lot of that had to do with the direction and all that stuff. But I did enjoy Joker. I do like Malcolm Spellman. So I don't really know very much about Matt Mixon, but I do like the fact that they're starting from scratch, apparently. And they're going to put a different spin on this. So I think that's actually a really good sign. A really good script can also attract a really good director. So there is that possibility of having something better on the table and attracting better talent to come and work it. And maybe we finally get this thing going. Maybe. But anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about the new writers coming in for Spawn? Do you like it? Does it make you a little more excited for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. I had a couple comments. What do we have? My man Derek Games, what you got? Rings of Power is horrible, but I keep watching like I do. She-Hulk is the best on that show. He needs his own show. I assume you mean Daredevil. He needs his own show. The Dragons rock. Love it. Yeah. So if you're talking about Daredevil, then yes, I totally agree with you. And he already has his own show coming. That is already announced. I'm sorry. Luke is the best on that show. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Daredevil. Yes, Luke is the best. Luke is hilarious. I personally would not want him to have his own show, just because I think when we start to like supporting characters, that I think it's all, we shouldn't forget that sometimes they work more effectively in small doses. So we don't always need more of a character just because we like them. Because sometimes that overexposure can run the risk of just like running that character thin, especially if there's not much there. But Rings of Power, I can't really speak on it because I've only watched like I think 4 episodes. I'm gonna have to go back and to catch up. I hear it's getting better. I hear they throwing down and they doing some things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for that, Derek. I appreciate you as always. Rob Mack, A Funeral plus Invasion is not a tribute recast to T'Challa. Well, listen, I will say, I'm gonna wait and see what the movie has to say. I'm gonna wait and see. Because I've told y'all from the jump, Marvel always keeps working and tweaking things in their movies until the day it drops. So whatever things we heard in the past may or may not still be the case in the future. But I am definitely willing to give Black Panther Wakanda Forever a shot to see how and what they do. And as much as I know somebody actually came in my comments and was like, man, I don't think you should review Black Panther because you're biased. And I'm like, first of all, like, who isn't biased? Everyone is biased about something, right? But second of all, I have been a film critic long enough, for almost like 7-8 years, where I've learned how to take my feelings and my criticisms and separate the two. I'll tell you when it's my feeling about this and this and this. I will tell you when I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. And I'll tell you, hey, the acting, hey, the cinematography, hey, the writing, hey, I can tell the difference. Now, here's the other thing, and this is just a quick tip for anyone that wants to be a film critic. There's another big difference in saying or critiquing a movie versus saying or articulating what you would like the movie to be and what you want it to do. The latter is not film criticism. It is not a criticism to be like, well, this movie sucks because they didn't bring in a variant. That's not a film criticism. That is your opinion about what you would do if you were the director. That's not, you can have that opinion, but that's not good film criticism. So I know the difference between the two. So when I will go into Black Panther 2, I'm going to give the movie a shot. And if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to criticize it. If it makes sense and if it's put together well, I'm going to praise it. That's how that works. Now, I'll give you guys another quick example, and this is a little off topic, but it's still close. It's almost like the treatment of the Hulk. I don't like how Marvel's treating the Hulk in the MCU. I've made a video about it saying how much they failed the Hulk. However, just because I don't like how they treat the Hulk, and I do believe they failed the Hulk has not been improperly written in the films. He hasn't been a problem in the films. That's the difference. I don't like what y'all doing, but y'all actually made it work over here on paper and on screen. I don't have to like it, and I can critique it. Those are the two differences. So maybe that is what's going to happen with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Maybe I'm not going to like what they do with T'Challa or variants or whatever. Maybe I won't like it, but that's a personal opinion versus the criticism. Man, they shot this thing beautiful. Man, the action was dope. Maybe the writing was off. I don't know. That's a whole different conversation. But anyway, I would encourage everybody, if you plan on going to see it or if you plan on waiting to watch it later, give the movie at least a shot and then evaluate it however you like. But thank you so much for that, Rob. Appreciate you. Derek, what you got? I hope we get a new Spawn. The cartoon was great. I loved the cartoon. The cartoon was so good. It was one of my first introductions to Spawn. I probably had no business doing this, watching it when I was that young, because I was watching, what was that, on HBO Cinemax late at night? Spawn was not playing back then. So yeah, I definitely got into Spawn real quick. That was a great show. Matter of fact, it kind of made me want to go back and rewatch it. I wish they would continue it, but whatever. Anyway, thank you for that, Derek. Back to back again. Here we go. We could get a Spawn before a Blade movie. Ah, man, don't get me started on that. I don't know. I mean, listen, if we do, fine. I've already said when it comes to Blade, take your time. Don't jack it up. Just give it the respect it needs. Give Blade the respect it needs. So we'll see. But those are two different time schedules too. AJ, thank you so much. Can someone please tell me why Blade is not rated R? Werewolf by Night is. Don't know. Now, to be fair, we don't know what Blade is rated yet. We've only heard from Kevin Feige that he doesn't believe it needs to be rated R. And I do want to kind of follow up on something because somebody had mentioned, like, well, in Blade, even though it was rated R, they didn't have like the vampires, like, like when he would cut the vampires up with his sword, they turned to dust and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But what I'm talking about is the amount of blood that's used, maybe the cursing and stuff like that, like the level of violence. A lot of that stuff can be limited by a PG-13 rating. So for example, that bloodbath, that opening scene in Blade, you wouldn't be able to do that in PG-13 because the rating system, it changes given the amount of blood that's used. If it's a little cut, it's a little okay, fine, PG-13. But if it's like a bloodbath and people are bathing in blood and limbs are getting cut off and stuff like that, that's rated R. You see, so I would just say we have to kind of pump the brakes on that. Wait until it's actually official. We ain't even got a movie yet. First of all, we don't even have a director. We don't have a director. They started a new script. We don't even know what Blade is going to be right now. All we know is Mahershala Ali is going to be in it. That's all we know. Okay, and Delroy Lindo. Shout out to Delroy. But that's all we know. So I would just say, let's hold on. Let's wait until we get some stuff official, and then we can talk about it. But, whoo, man, I hope if you've watched Werewolf by Night, I said it on Twitter, if y'all can let Deadpool be rated R, and if y'all can let Werewolf by Night be that violent, there's no reason why Blade can't do the same. None. Anyway, thank you for that. My man Matthew's back at it. Shaul, greatest line of the night so far. Wanda Spawn, I'll rock your soul to hell. Did Shaul say that? What happened? I missed something. Okay, well, I'll take it. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate you. Wait. Hold on. Did I skip one? No. Tony, what you got? Maine, they just need to hire Wesley as the director. I would need to see more of Wesley's work as a director. I'd love him as an executive producer. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him be an executive producer so that way, one, that'd be a nice way to kind of be like, hey, here's us, Marvel, letting you get like a little cut of what we what we owe you. I would say you owe him because again, y'all wouldn't be making billions of dollars without him. So I would just make him an executive producer and say like, hey, give us some notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can come in, you can let us know, but I don't know if I'd make him a director. Like I said before, being a director versus a writer versus a producer, those are all different skill sets. We can't just throw people in there because when you're a director, you have to know lighting, you have to know sound, you have to know production, you have to know a lot of different things that other people might not know. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate you. But yes, I do agree that Wesley should be involved some way, somehow. And I think that would just be appropriate. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Keanu Reeves, who is he just gave a interview not too long ago, and he was talking about who he would love to be in the MCU. And I mean, I've said a couple roles that I think he would be perfect for. But he did end up talking about one role that he was like as a kid he really wanted. So let's see, what did he have to say? So yeah, he revealed his dream super role in the in the MCU. I think he was on Jimmy Kimmel. Let's see what he say here. I might have lost my nerd card as I got older, but when I was younger, I was pretty nerdy with comics. I feel though is like when you're a kid, you're a comic book nerd, but then you're 50 and you're into comic books, you're a nerd. But then, yeah, okay. All right, I'm a nerd. I'll be a nerd. And then when he was asked, he said 10-year-old me would want to, I think he'd probably want to be Ghost Rider. Okay. Yes, and then he goes and compliments Marvel and Marvel films and all of that. Okay, look, if he wants to be Ghost Rider, that's fine. I personally think because he is in his 50s, like, and don't get me wrong, my man, he looks good for his 50s now. Like he's still, like doesn't look his age, and I think that's great. Let me see how old exactly Keanu Reeves is. I think he's like, how old is he? He's 58. Oh, I thought he was in his 50s, like early. My man is 58. So okay. At 58, I think that, like, yeah, he could do Ghost Rider. It's not a terrible role, but I do think that, especially if you're going to do something in the MCU, it's gonna have to be something that I think is involved with more CGI. So, in other words, if you're gonna be Ghost Rider, you're gonna need to keep that flaming head all the time. I don't know if you can keep going back and forth, back and forth. I don't know. Because again, listen, we know these movies take a long time. We know at this point, everybody doesn't have to sign on for 10 years, but like, it'd be nice if you could stick around for 10 years. Do you really want a 68-year-old Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider? Now, personally, I've said make him Silver Surfer. I think he'd be great as Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is completely VFX. It's all CGI. All he has to do is voice work, right? Silver Surfer does not have a vast range of personalities or emotions. He's a very straightforward, easy character. I think that'll be a perfect fit. Keanu has that very calm voice of no. Like, that's just Keanu. That I have the Matrix. Like, whatever. Like, that's all you need. And I think that would be great to just have him as Silver Surfer. I've heard some people say Galactus. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. I would actually probably want someone a little bit older with a little more gravitas in their voice for Galactus. But I think Silver Surfer would be a better one. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about Keanu Reeves wanting to be Ghost Rider? Or like, can you envision it? Let me know what you think. Let's not forget, my man is 58. He, by the time they even shoot something, he gonna be in his 60s. Everybody not gonna want to act forever now. But y'all let me know, what do you think in the comments down below? What we got? Didier, what you got? Werewolf by Night being in black and white was the cheat code for all of the blood. Listen, that it worked. It worked. Like, I loved it. Matter of fact, like, I kind of wished that they would have turned the blood red. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they had the bloodstone, like, kind of contrast and all that stuff towards the end. So I wish they would have done that. I think that would have been amazing. Kind of like Sin City, how that kind of worked a little bit. I love it when we get the black and white, but then you get the splash of color here and there just for that extra visual impact. I love that. But yes, it was definitely a cheat code. Thank you so much, Didier. I appreciate you. Matthew, back at it. Life goals. I want to be fit like Sly Stallone and Keanu in my 50s and 70s. Yeah. I mean, I think wasn't Sly juicing or something? Like, wasn't he, getting them little thigh shots? I don't know. I don't allegedly. I don't know. I don't got no idea. But anyway, but yeah, hey, listen, if I could look that way, that'd be great too. I'm with you on that. Kev, what you got? He already played Silver Surfer in The Day the Earth Stood Still. Great. Then yes, Yes, then it can work again. That's what I'm talking about. So fine by me. Fine by me. Thank you so much for that, Kev. Wait. I missed somebody. Tony, what you got? At 58, he gotta be Mephisto. I'm fine with that too. If you listen, I've said that it would be dope if you had Keanu Reeves play Mephisto, because I think that would be an awesome double entendre, especially coming from the movie Devil's Advocate, which I loved. I love that movie so much. I haven't seen it recently, but I remember watching it on repeat all the time, and it was just great to me. So I think that'd be really dope if they made him Mephisto. And the cool thing about Mephisto is he doesn't have to look the same. He could be anybody. So y'all can have Mephisto come in and be Keanu Reeves one time. Next time you could have him be Al Pacino. Next time you could have him be whoever. You could have him be Leonardo DiCaprio. You could have Mephisto be anybody, and that would be the ultimate rotating door, I think, for Marvel. And I'm not saying that it should be like a Stan Lee cameo, but kind of come with that energy, right? Like, I think it'd be kind of interesting if Marvel had a revolving door of actors playing Mephisto, showing up in different movies, and the audience is constantly guessing which one did Mephisto make a cameo, and we never know until like maybe the very end. I think that'd be dope. But anyway, thank you for that, Tony. I appreciate you. Portia, what you got? He could be Living Tribunal. Yes. That great. That works too. Yes, good point. Good one. Ghost Rider is Norman Reedus. Silver Surfer's Keanu. Sure, I guess. I mean, I'm not anti Norman Reedus. I think he's cool, at least for the in The Walking Dead. I feel like sometimes people get too much of a pass of I've seen you ride motorcycles in TV shows, so therefore you automatically are Ghost Rider. Like, what were they doing at Sons of Anarchy? Like, everybody's like, everybody on Sons of Anarchy could be their Ghost Rider. I'm like, maybe, but like you still want to make sure the person like is perfect for the role itself. But I'm not gonna be mad if Norman Reedus gets it. I don't know if he'd be my first pick, but I understand why he comes first to mind for a lot. I get it. But I wouldn't be opposed if it was just honestly somebody else, like all entirely. All right, I got one more. That Leo as Mephisto. Hey, listen, I'm just saying, if Leo wanted a one time, like a one and done, come and be Mephisto, do something, and then get out. I think it'd be great. This is me. Thank you, Kano. I appreciate that support. All right, let's see. We off of Keanu. What else are we on? Oh, spinoffs. Okay. I know many of you have been extremely anxious and looking forward to a lot of these films that are spin-offs of your favorite show, your favorite movies. So hold on, let me change that. That's not actually accurate. But since you guys love the Spider-Man spin-off so much, I did want to make sure I didn't leave you guys out in the cold and let you guys know the latest news with y'all favorite upcoming movie, El Muerto. And this is going to be directed by Jonas Quarn. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. I took French and not Spanish. The bots are here. But yes, you guys wanted El Muerto with Bad Bunny. And yes, apparently we have a director, and yes, it's gonna happen. So there's some good traction, right? Like, y'all, this is good news. And of course, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be like a good news update about a Spider-Man spinoff if we didn't talk about Madam Web, because apparently Madam Web has some set photos that have been released. And let's see, what do we have? Because let's see, it's like a mysterious new villain, maybe, or something. I know y'all been excited for this. And look at this. Who is this? I don't know who this is. I'm guessing this might be a Madam Web-ish person. I don't know. Well, who is this? Don't really know. But they look like a spider person. They look like some type of spider person in the Madam Web universe, and it looks like they're fighting people in their spider costume or whatnot. So I know this is exactly what you guys have been waiting for. Here you go. You get the pictures of Madam Web, and you know now El Muerto has a new director, and that's great. So you're welcome, and I'm here to serve the people. All right. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? No, I don't think we're going to talk about that. I think it is time for us to watch some stuff. So let's do that. All right, all right. So, I believe we have talked about this before. The Super Mario movie, starring Chris Pratt. We've talked about how Chris Pratt got cast in this. We talked about how he said he wasn't going to use the Italian voice or something like that. I don't know. And a lot of people were kind of like, why Chris Pratt? But hey, look, maybe it'll work. Maybe. I don't know. But I saw the trailer dropped. I was kind of curious about it, but I wanted to see, like, I saw people talk about it, and I saw people say like it looked good. So I was like, okay, let's save this up for Friday. So let's go ahead and check this out, this trailer out. This is for Super Mario. I'm guessing this is animated. Starring Chris Pratt, and I think Jack Black is also in this too. But anyway, let's see what they got. That look like Bowser.
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
Open the gates!
Attack!
Oh!
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not.
Yo! Yo!
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
Okay. It's me, Mario.
What is this place?
Are you serious?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
Why is Chris Pratt in this movie? What is the point? What is the point? Like, How he gonna come in and just voice himself? Why does Chris Pratt sound like Chris Pratt? You couldn't even try a different voice, like just something else. You couldn't do something else. Now Bowser looked great. Bowser looked great. I ain't never knew Bowser had that much. He was out there looking like Charizard from the Pokemon. I know he had that much firepower. That looked great. I like that in the little penguin people. That looked like it's gonna be funny. And shout out to my man Luigi. But why is Chris Pratt in this movie? Why was he named? Why was he needed for this? He just showed up and just was like, I'm Mario. It's me. Like, that's it. Man, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is one of those things where, just like with Sonic, ugly Sonic, I wish the fans would just be like, yo, revoice Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back and fix Mario's voice. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't understand why they wouldn't. And it's animated. I can see if it was live action. Okay, fine. But it's animated. The number one thing with animation is your voice. If you're bringing in an actor, the whole point is your voice. You think people finna come watch this just because Chris Pratt is in it? Because his voice? No, most times you're gonna go watch this because it's probably at least looking like it directed towards kids, and your kids are gonna tell you, I want to go see that. Your kids ain't finna be like, ooh, that sounds like Chris Pratt. Let's go. That's not what's happening here. Anyway, the the trailer looked decent. I have to say I'm disappointed that Chris Pratt is in here playing a character that everyone knows at least some type. I mean, God, you had an Italian voice. Like, you couldn't do nothing. You could. All right, whatever. I feel like I'm gonna wait for that to stream. Like, I don't see myself going to watch that now. I don't know. But anyway, how do y'all feel about the Super Mario trailer? Are you looking forward to it? Are you gonna give it a shot? Are you gonna go to the theaters? You bringing the kids? Let me know your thoughts down below. Yeah. Yeah, Chris Pratt's a miss for me on that one. Kano, let's see. He died super quick, but I ain't mad. Bad Bunny and Bullet Train. Highly recommend movie. Okay, I haven't seen it, so spoiler alert. But thank you for that. What else we got? Under the Weather Bowl. Thank you so much. Anthony Mackie is Ghost Rider. And Anthony Mackie to direct Blade. Oh, you real sick. Yeah, somebody go check his. Do we have a doctor in the house? Bo is very under the weather. Bo is so under the weather. He's delusional right now. Please, somebody call 911. Someone call 911. Woo, Bo. Hey, Bo, I hope you feel better soon. Get well very soon. Because yikes. Rabia, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Thank you. What else we got? Kano, it looks legit. It legit looks dope. But they could have got a good voice actor playing Chris. Good money, so yeah. I mean, yeah, the voice actor is still around. Y'all could have had him just do it. It would have been just fine. Like this movie does not need Chris Pratt. There's nothing about this movie that requires Chris Pratt or his stardom. I don't think it would have made any difference whether he was on there or not. The only thing I think Chris Pratt is kind of sort of being relevant to this role and its success is the fact that people are going to be like, why is Chris Pratt doing this? So then they're just going to want to go see how bad it gets or how good or whatever. So I think that's the only thing. But I personally think it's very lazy on him to just be like, I'm just going to show up and I'm just going to act like this character and not even try the Italian accent, or the fact that they didn't even cast him. I mean, y'all really needed him? He was really that high in demand? And it sounded like a favor or something, like, man, I owe you one, so come and play Mario. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for that. AJ, they should do Mario like they do the Sonic graphics. I completely agree. That was my point earlier. Totally agree. Thank you for that. Matthew, how you gonna give me a delicious dinner with Bowser, then give me a lame dessert with Mario as a Chris Pratt? Ain't that messed up? Matter of fact, I'd say it's more like you had the fire appetizer. You know, the cheddar biscuits. You know, you had the fine that bread. You ever go to a restaurant and the bread be coming out freshly baked, the butter just be melted on it, everything is soft, and you just be eating that sucker up, and they give you everything, right? And then you get your steak and it's dry. Your steak is just dry. Your meal is just plain. Your food is unseasoned. Chris Pratt is unseasoned Mario. Ain't not a lick. Bro, they couldn't throw no Italian herbs on that. You couldn't throw no Italian herbs on Mario? Giving people this unseasoned Mario. Come through, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is embarrassing. It's a problem. I'm sorry. It's not okay. Thank you for that, Matthew. I appreciate you. Timothy, I don't know where your comments went, but thank you so much, Timothy. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But thank you for that support. I really appreciate it. Let's see where I don't see it. Try again, Timothy. Let's see. Oh, Jason, come through. Thank you so much for the wonderful super sticker and that support. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that, Jason. All right, I don't see it. Oh, another super sticker. Oh, I love the super stickers. Thank you so much, Ty. Appreciate you. You always be coming through. You the super sticker queen now. You always be coming through with the steady super stickers. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's move on. I told y'all we don't have anything too crazy today, so sorry for the 3-hour hopers out there. Y'all know, guess what time it is? Guess what time it is? Yes, that's right. It is Ezra Miller time. Once again, because we cannot go. Geez, what is it? Now we're back at zero. Back at zero. I would not say that Ezra Miller has committed any crimes. Not that we know of. No accusations have come out. Not that we know of. Not yet. Okay, like we'll see. However, Ezra Miller's back. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, you just gonna have to go watch all my videos on Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller has been a menace, a domestic and international terrorist, allegedly. That's so weird. I even saw people making the hashtag Ezra Miller's innocent. Okay. Ezra Miller has done so many things. He's attacked women. Ezra has assaulted people, been accused of trespassing, grooming minors, supposedly allegedly having some sort of cult type of thing going on. Something that I found personally disturbing, using his character, the Flash, on some sort of altar and using that as a way to feed into their Messiah complex, because Ezra thinks that they're close to like Jesus in some way. And listen, anyway, fast forward, Ezra has apologized in a sense by releasing a statement, just giving a very general, bland apology for everything. You know, oh, by the way, Ezra is also spit in the face of cast members, people he's worked with, they've worked with. So yeah, Ezra is a problem one way or another. Ezra is a problem. Now, again, I have fully endorsed and fully advocated for Ezra to get whatever help Ezra needs. Get the help. What I am not okay with is Ezra not having some level of accountability and facing some sort of consequences. I'm not talking about from WB. I'm just saying, don't be like doing, if you're out there supposedly grooming children, grooming minors, if you're out there assaulting people, I hope that you do face whatever consequences for that match your actions. That's all. I'm not saying WB needs to go hold Ezra's hand and do that. Listen, WB employed Ezra to play a role. That's it. They've already, if I'm not mistaken, have said they're not probably going to work with. No, they didn't say, but it was reported that they're just not going to move forward with Ezra, which I think is a good thing. However, after hearing about the whole Messiah complex and the using the character on their altar throughout the alleged grooming and stuff, that to me would be the line where I'm like, you can't be using our character like that and be mixed in with this, because your character is supposed to be an idol. It's supposed to be a superhero role model for children. So that conflation, it's messy and ugly. Should not happen. But hey, WB is going WB, and apparently WB is WBing real hard, because Ezra Miller has reportedly filmed new Flash scenes just last week. Ezra is still working. Now, let's see. What do they have to say? According to a new report from The Wrap, Miller filmed the new Flash scenes last week for one day on the Warner Brothers lot. There's no information available on how many scenes Miller was part of during the reshoots, but the one-day commitment indicates it was a relatively minor set of pickups. This is not the first time the Flash reshoots involved Miller, as they secretly filmed additional scenes earlier this year as part of the movie's regularly scheduled reshoots. The new report indicates that Miller was brought back to film more scenes last week. So, like I said, WB has a contract with Ezra Miller. They don't have to like Ezra. They don't have to deal with Ezra, but they will get their money's worth because Ezra's under contract. So let's also not forget that Ezra also only was prompted to apologize after it was reported that WB was considering completely axing the Flash movie entirely. Now, of course, that would suck for all the other actors and all the people that worked really hard on the movie. You don't want to punish them. So, because not because of all the behavior, not because of all the legal stuff, the accusation, not because of all the other troubling things that Ezra has been accused of and has done, but Ezra wanted to apologize because they cared about the movie and they didn't want the movie to be canceled or whatever. So this has been prompting Ezra to come back, do these reshoots. I really hope that whatever is happening with Ezra and these reshoots includes something where Ezra gets recast or Ezra ends the movie in a certain way where we never see Ezra again. Ezra goes and changes the timeline, and because they change the timeline, everything is different, including Ezra. Just whatever it is, because I've told y'all there was the best thing I think WB should do. Forget about canceling the movie because supposedly it's really good, and it's gonna cost you too much to redo it. Come back, reshoot a post-credit scene, which might only take a minute, if that, and show Ezra with a new face. Just whatever, however you want to do it. I messed up the timeline. This my Ezra run. I messed up the timeline. I woke up. Bap! I got a new face. Like, whatever. I think everybody just be like, oh well, Barry, you did it again, and just move on. So anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about Ezra Miller still coming back, still working, despite all this nonsense that they have been using, that they've been involved with all this time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, let's grab these comments here. Matthew Collins, thank you. Claim that hashtag, E-Man. Unseasoned Mario. I will. I think I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that part later and I'm gonna post it and I'm gonna put that in there. Thank you for that. By the way, I know some of y'all have been saying, like, man, E-Man, you got to build up your TikTok and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't know or recognize what's gonna be a good TikTok video or not. So if y'all notice, because I do read y'all comments, if y'all notice something that's worthy of like being clipped or whatever, just put that in the comment. Clip, hashtag clip, something like that. So I know, oh, okay, I could come back and take this clip and, you know, repurpose it. I'll trust y'all judgment more than anything. But thank you for that. I appreciate you. And I will be posting that later. Let's see. My man Derek, what you got? Ezra is the bad guy from all the Bond movies. Whew, something like that. Something like that. Ezra is a problem, and I hope Ezra gets all the help that they can get. I hope so. Frigga's belt. Ezra's got the complexion for protection. Well, let me just ask y'all this. I mean, because I know some people like it's not the same. I find it still very odd that Will Smith slapped someone on national television. That was horrendous. That was terrible. We all condemn it. But it was a slap. Ezra has choked people out on video, assaulted other people, spit on other people, potentially or allegedly groomed minors, stolen from other people, trespassed from other people, have done all these things. And Ezra just gave one little line, just one little, I'm sorry for my actions. And I don't hear the same level of vitriol that I hear for Will Smith. Will Smith had a clean record. Let's remember that. Clean record until that one slap incident. And it was terrible, but like that was it. But you have people, even on the Academy, you have all these people that are like, F Will Smith. I'm not voting for Will Smith. Will Smith shouldn't work again. You have all these people saying that, but I don't hear nobody in the industry talking about Ezra Miller at all. At all. I could see if Ezra had one or two little things here or there. That happens. A lot of people that happens. Ezra got a whole past. Ezra has a whole year worth of things that if anyone else, let's just say of a different complexion, were merely accused of, I don't think they'd see I don't even think they'd be allowed to come back and do a reshoot. I don't think anybody would want them on set again. But speculation. Anywho, thank you so much for that, Frigga. Kano, what you got? Oh no, they had Ezra filming their removal from the plot. Some multiversal shenanigans. I hope so. I hope that's exactly what's happening. I hope so. But we'll see. We'll see. I think that if Ezra is truly remorseful, and if Ezra really does care about the future of, the castmates and stuff like that, Ezra should bow out. Ezra should come back, shoot some scenes. Look, you're not working no more. This is it. The only path of success Ezra has at this point, going out and getting some help, staying out the public eye for a long time, coming back, maybe do some community service or something like that, whatever. And then try it again. Try it again in a couple years. But outside of that, ain't nobody gonna work with Ezra right now at all. So I think the best thing Ezra could do is bow out gracefully and be like, okay, I can't be the Flash anymore. And that's it. Shoot your scenes. You out the picture. It's done for. And we'll see what they say. We'll see what they do. Anywho, that's all we got for Ezra. What else do we have? We got two more topics left. Yes. So we have been getting some more interviews from the Black Panther Wakanda Forever cast and crew. One of those people has been Ryan Coogler, and he did make a bit of a confession recently in an interview, and apparently, according to him, he almost quit making movies after Chadwick Boseman's death. And let's see, where did he say? He said, I was at a point when I was like, I'm walking away from this business. He was talking to Entertainment Weekly. I didn't know if I could make another movie, period, let alone another Black Panther movie, because it hurt a lot. I was like, man, how could I open myself up to feeling like this again? Let's see. He continues. And let's see. Coogler found himself watching interviews with the late legend talking about T'Challa and recollected speaking to him about the character. I was poring over a lot of our conversations that we had towards what I realized was the end of his life. I decided that it made more sense to keep going. Let's see. Did he say anything else? Let me see. No, that was it. Yeah. So definitely this was tough. And you know what? Like I've said from the jump, recast T'Challa or not, I've always felt for the cast and crew. I always felt as my heart has always gone out to them, because my goodness, this is not, nobody wants to lose someone that close that you've worked with, that you've known, and then go back into an environment where that person was like a constant presence and you're just forced to move on. Now, my personal assessment of Coogler's comments are I wish he just would have taken more time. I wish I wish he would have stepped away, because I don't think that, I don't think that there was any real pressure, or that there should have been. I don't believe there should have been any real pressure, whether it's from fans, whether it's from cast and crew, whether it's from Marvel. I don't think any real pressure should have been coming from anywhere to say, give us our Black Panther movie right now. All right, we on the schedule. Let's go. Because we've seen what has happened when unforeseen situations come up. Marvel can do whatever they want. It can be inconvenient. It can be problematic, but they can adjust. We've seen Marvel, because of a pandemic, literally change the script of Doctor Strange 2 and of Spider-Man in the middle of production. We've seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever get delayed twice. One, because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman, but it also got delayed when Letitia Wright was injured as well. For 6 months, it got delayed. So they clearly have the ability and the flexibility. It's not easy, but they have the ability to make changes. They can postpone things if they want to. They can hurry things up if they want to. They can flip schedules. They just switched over Ant-Man and the Wasp and what was it? And the Marvels. So all I'm saying is, if the cast and crew, especially your director, your main visionary, if they're that hurt, like they're human, give them time. Give them time. I hope that, but according to him, at least, it seemed like after he was watching whatever interviews or whatever, and I really wonder what he watched. I really wonder, because I was watching a lot of stuff too, but I really wonder what exactly he watched that made him convinced to keep going. I think that would have been an interesting follow-up question. But as I've said too, like in the interviews I've seen of Chadwick, I do think Chadwick would have wanted them to keep going, because, in a lot of podcasts and a lot of interviews I've seen from Chadwick, he would constantly talk about and uplift his cast members. He would also be like, oh my God, my little sister Shuri, she's amazing. Yo, Okoye is dope. Yo, Nakia is amazing. Oh my God, Ryan Coogler is dope. Like, clearly Chadwick understood the importance of the franchise. I don't think anybody would ever say that Chadwick would want the franchise to be harmed in any way. I don't think anyone would reasonably say that Chadwick would want his friends to suffer in any way. I played that video for y'all just last week of Derek Bozeman, his brother, saying that Chadwick really wanted to take care of his friends' careers and stuff. So yes, absolutely, we would want, Chadwick would want y'all to move on. I just hope, and I have to wait and watch the movie, I just hope that where you move on to is in a good place. Now, we obviously have our suspicions and our concerns about the ending portrayal of T'Challa, because I don't think anywhere is consistently stated that that would be what Chadwick would want. I don't think that could be substantiated. But for the franchise to move on, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think Chadwick would have ever wanted to just stop. But either way, my heart definitely goes out to him and the cast and crew. I mean, the whole cast and crew, everybody was feeling something, But as I've said before, I really wish everyone involved would have just taken way more time to just heal. Because I don't, I guess that's a whole different level of grief to put yourself in the mindset to watch video to reenact your friend's passing over and over and over again for the sake of a movie. That listen, I don't get it. That's not the way I grieve. I know everybody else grieves differently. And as I've said before, I just have an issue with the fact that it's for public consumption. This is something that's going to be in a movie, and it's not something that's going to be private. This is something where it's like we now have to absorb your level of grief. I guess. I don't know. Hold on, let's see what else do we have. But either way, I feel bad for them. I wish them the best, and we'll see what happens with the movie. But anyway, how do y'all feel about Ryan Coogler and his statement that he almost was about to step away from movies in general? And that would have hurt me more. Like, I would have been like, if you want to step away from Black Panther, fine, I get that. Stepping away from movies, that would break my heart, because he's super talented. Like, he's really, really good at what he does. So I would be really hurt for him if he completely stepped away. But y'all let me know how you feel and what you think in the comments down below. All right. Last thing we have here on the docket is it's a little bit more Black Panther stuff, and is Winston Duke. A lot of y'all brought this to my attention earlier on, that Winston Duke had appeared on whose was it? It was Jamel Hill's. Jamel Hill's her podcast. And he was interviewed about obviously Black Panther, and he was also interviewed about recasting T'Challa. So I'm not gonna play all of it. I'm just gonna play let me pull up both of the clips. I got 2 clips here that I will play for you guys. Let me just load them up. Okay. All right. So we got that one. All right. So let's see. Let's get back in. All right. So let me make sure I got this. So, okay, yeah, this is the right one. So here's Winston Duke talking about I think this first clip is actually Winston Duke comparing the first Black Panther to the second one. So we're gonna play it, and then I'll give my comments in a second.
Is it better than the first one, you think?
I stay away from qualifiers like better. You know, I feel getting away from comparative and competitive mindsets when it comes to art creation is very helpful for me. That's one of my unbothered tools and tips: is staying away from a sense of competitive mindset and comparative mindset, because they cannot be the same. The world that Black Panther won was ushered into is not the world that Black Panther 2 is ushered into. So it cannot be the same. So thinking of it as better or worse, it to me is a non-issue. I feel we made Black Panther 1 on the heels of Donald Trump becoming president in a world where we were where we felt we couldn't trust each other. You know, from a man that said, you know, Mexico is sending us their worst, and people still voted for him. And you were looking at some of your friends saying, was it you?
Right.
Because I've had conversations with you about social justice and what really togetherness and brotherhood and allyship is. And to believe that you walked into a private room and potentially voted for a person, I don't know who I could trust. So for a while, right after that election, I remember this mass feeling of mistrust and distrust of like, who's around you? What are they really thinking? Am I completely wrong?
Okay. So I get where he was saying, but like that to me, the one thing I'll agree with is the feelings are definitely different, right? I'm not gonna comment on the whole Donald Trump thing because I'll be honest with you. When I walked into Black Panther the first time, I wasn't thinking about politics. I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was sitting here like, oh my God, there's this thing called Wakanda. There are my favorite superheroes on screen. I was not tying all the other stuff going on. I was locked in into the fact that we got all these beautiful black faces on screen and it's about us and it's for us and everybody can join in, but it's for us. Oh my God. That's where I was coming in. And it's funny because I kind of think about this. Like, I was shout out to the For All Nerds podcast. I was on there recently reacting to the Black Panther trailer. And while we were on this panel, we were talking, I recall I think it was Tatiana that asked me, and she was like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel the same level of excitement for this movie, Wakanda Forever, versus the first one? And I was like, no. Like, I can't, because as Winston has said in other interviews, the first movie was trying to do something different, and this other movie is definitely trying to do something different. The second movie is trying to show the grieving process or how to move on when the lead character is not even there. Now what context that is it before the blip? I don't know. I know it could be obviously worse, but one way or another, the lead character is not there. So it's almost like, am I excited for the Chicago Bulls, the first time they win their championship with Michael Jordan versus the following year when he retires and he's gone? No, I'm not excited the same way. It's not the same thing. The first time Black Panther came out, I was like, yo, I got to buy out a theater. I got to tell everybody. I got to watch this like 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 times. My mind was blown that a country like Wakanda, I've never conceived, I've never dreamed as a black person that of what a world would look like that wasn't colonized, enslaved, and that was the most technologically advanced in the world. I've never thought about that. Yeah, I've read it in the comics. Yeah, I've seen it in the cartoon, but to see it in visual stuff, I was like, whoa, that right there was like mind-blowing. I don't know if I'm getting that in the second movie. I'm not going in with that, because the thing is, the first movie, I'm going in with excitement. The second movie, it's mixed emotions. Like, I'm sorry, but like I said earlier, I know everyone grieves differently. And I understand, especially in African culture, that, during funerals, it's more of like a celebration of life and everything. But I'm sorry, I personally find it very awkward to be excited for a funeral. Like, I've seen people say, I can't wait to go see Black Panther 2. I'm excited. Yeah, we're going to wear all white. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. I'm not knocking nobody. That's your business. But for me, I can't jump up for joy. I can't be like, oh, I can't wait to go to the funeral of my favorite superhero. I can't do that. It's weird to me, and I have the feeling that if I go to the Black Panther premiere, a bunch of people gonna be wearing white, and I'm gonna be the only one in black. I'm like, why would I get excited for this? Y'all gave me my favorite superhero after 50 years, and potentially you about to take him away. Why would I be excited for that? I can celebrate Chadwick's life in multiple other ways. Matter of fact, I'm celebrating Chadwick through the Wakanda Forever Challenge. That's how I like to celebrate him, by bringing honor to the stuff that this man has done. But so I'm kind of like with Winston on this. Like, yeah, it's a different movie, not for the reasons he mentioned, but I don't know. This is a whole different thing. And I get the feeling that when we do go watch the movie, just like the trailers have indicated, it's going to probably take us on an emotional roller coaster ride. I think they're going to start us off real sad. They're going to have us, go through the mourning process again. And then, they'll try to bring us back up, give us some action, in typical Marvel form, and then move on from there. But yeah, I don't know. The feelings are definitely different, and not the same. So I totally agree with him in the sense of we don't need to be comparing the first movie to the second one, because I'm sorry, y'all don't have y'all franchise player. Y'all don't have y'all lead all-star. Like, you're going in handicapped. Now you could probably still win the game. You probably can still score a lot of points, but it's definitely not going to be the same feeling. But anyway, let's see. So this is the point where he goes on in the interview and he actually talks about she asked him straight up about recast. So let's hear what he had to say.
So I'm of the opinion they should recast T'Challa because you look at Superman, you look at Batman, and we're going to talk about your Batman project in a minute, and they change all the time. And I think T'Challa and Black Panther is an idea. How do you feel about potentially that being recast?
I think for this iteration of Black Panther, it's very hard for me to really comment on something like that, because I'm of the mind that this is Chadwick's role. Chadwick created this, and Black Panther wouldn't be the same without Chadwick Boseman, who stood for the things that he stood for. So you didn't just cast an actor. And at this moment in casting, it's like I will never play a gay man or a trans person in film, because that wouldn't be right. When you cast a person, you're also casting their experiences, you're casting their politics, you're casting all these things. Black Panther was heavily defined by the actor that did it, in my opinion. So I feel that as is, and the decision that's been made to keep T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, is one that has a lot of nobility in it. But you also have to, there's a level of trust that I think we should all have for a comic book world. For a comic book world that has multiple dimensions and parallel dimensions and multiple stories and possible futures and possible reimaginations in the past, and just multiple universes that they're actually experimenting with. So I feel my level of trust is that the medium can support a diversity of interpretations that can actually make us all happy. And I just trust that that's somewhere in the future. I think Black Panther, I think T'Challa is a very important character to the narrative moving forward. So it's my hope that we just have to trust that somehow there's a universe where and how he could be reimagined. And that's one thing that I have. But for this movie, I'm very happy that they decided to embrace the narrative of us losing Chadwick Boseman and keeping it as such, because I think it's really great to acknowledge any black man's humanity. And I feel that is what is being said, is that we're making a choice to honor a real life event of a very outstanding black man that also represented all black men. And I think that's what's really beautiful about part of the casting of us in these movies, is that at the end of the day, my opinion of why I was successful, why Chadwick Boseman is and was successful, why Daniel Kaluuya and every one of us are successful, that we actually are very reminiscent of everybody else. You got a cousin who looked like me. You have a cousin that looks like Daniel. You have a cousin that looks exactly like Chadwick, that smiles like Chadwick. And for a very long time, multiple industries have been saying, that's not what it's supposed to look like. That's not what beauty is supposed to look like. That's not what a star is supposed to look like. That's not what a leader, what a hero, what, the one person in the center of the frame is supposed to look like. And they put us all in there and said, I could frame up on that. I could frame up on your cousin. I could frame up on your brother. I could frame up on all these different people. So that's what honoring him and keeping him in that thing meant to me.
Okay. Woo. Wow. Okay. That was a lot said. I'll comment on a couple things, and I might have to go back and listen to a couple more to get it in context. But let's not forget that he's still under contract and he's still grieving, and the movie hasn't come out yet, and he's entitled to his opinion. All of that. Now, I think the first thing he had mentioned was like how this was Chadwick's role and that it just wouldn't be the same with someone else there. That's acting. I mean, it's literally your job. That's acting. Yes, it would be somebody else there, but your whole job is to imagine people are not who they are and that they are different people. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm just saying that's a fact. Second, you also have the power of narrative. You can write up a narrative, because this is fiction, that would help you along that journey of filming this film. I'm just saying that there are options. That's all. But let's also be sensitive to the fact that, okay, they just personally can't envision another person taking that role. I think for him, he was also thinking of a direct recast. I think he was thinking of a War Machine, Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle type of recast. And he, and maybe the rest of the cast and crew, can't envision that. That's fair, I guess. Personally, I've been saying that there are levels to this, right? When it comes to recasting, there are levels. I would be very okay with a direct recast. That's the top of the list. Just pick up where you left off and go. But that's me as a fan. Right after that, I'd be fine with the variant, depending on how you tell the story. Because one way or another, you still have to deal with Chadwick Boseman's version of T'Challa. He was talking about how, like, Chadwick defined Black Panther. Okay. How? Because I don't know. I've only known this Chadwick's version for, I believe, his entire screen time, don't quote me on this, is like less than 2 hours. in 5 movies. He had less than 2 hours. Compare that to someone like Ant-Man that has like 5, 7, 10 hours, or Tony Stark who has like 10 hours or whatever. T'Challa had some of the lowest amount of screen time despite having one solo movie. What did he define that's left? Because I thought we haven't even gotten to the tip of the iceberg. I thought we were just at the tip of the iceberg with T'Challa. I've told y'all, we don't know what he's going to be like as a father, as a king, as a diplomat, as an Avenger, as a politician. We don't know any of that. The one thing we saw T'Challa talk about was he wasn't going to let vengeance consume him. That was great. We also saw him actually listen to Nakia and open up Wakanda. After that, like, the assignment's incomplete. You know what I'm saying? There's still more left on the table. And I don't think it's necessarily a problem to have someone else come in and pick up where he left off, because T'Challa is a bigger character. Chadwick knew that. He talked about it. That's why he wanted us to see the role and not him. Now, I do understand, and I sympathize with him, and I empathize with Winston, where he talks about keeping T'Challa like Boseman's T'Challa. I'm fine with that. Once again, I would urge people to remember this is fiction. I would urge people to understand you could do anything when it comes to fiction. You literally could say T'Challa's version, or Chadwick's T'Challa version, is now in another timeline. Why? Because Kang the Conqueror came and changed up the timeline. So T'Challa and Chadwick's version, they're fine. They're just in another timeline, and we just shift over to a new one. So there's nothing really wrong with that. You can keep Chadwick's version as is, and that's just fiction. That's fictional storytelling. There's nothing that's keeping Marvel from saying, we want to keep Chadwick's version over here and preserve it, and we're going to move on in a different way. What I'm trying to say is they got magic, timelines, time travel, multiverses. They do have multiple ways to preserve Chadwick's version without killing him off, potentially. And, you know, when he talks about like embracing the loss of Chadwick, this is the part that I've always been very not cool with. I've never really been cool with the idea of taking real life tragedy and forcing it into the fictional storytelling, because fictional storytelling literally is supposed to be an escape. You can talk and communicate certain ideas through subtext. You know what I mean? Like you can do certain things to honor, to grieve, to do all this stuff without compromising the actual character. You could do a lot of that, you know. And when he starts talking about how, you know, we all have like all these different you know, people that look like them and stuff like that, and we want to like embrace them and idolize them in a certain way, like a black man's humanity. I'm sorry, but like if we're talking about a black man's humanity, why does it have to be cemented with more multiple deaths? Doesn't that happen enough in real life? Like, black man, death. Where's the humanity in that? In my opinion, and he's entitled to his own, in my opinion, humanity that is trying to be upheld and honored and all that, it should continue. And if this storytelling, this fictional storytelling, is anything, it gives us the freedom and the ability to immortalize and to continue the idea or the notion or the memory of people through the storytelling narrative, through that vehicle. If you want to talk about honoring the real life event, the real life person, why do we have to do that in the fictional storytelling? Like, why does the character also have to suffer? That's, you know, again, I know it's very thin, and I know the chances are very low, but I really wish they would do the blip theory. I really do, because it literally is the best compromise where the cast can still grieve, and at the same time, you don't completely erase T'Challa. You could talk about that stuff, and you don't have to compromise the actual role. And like I said, even if you're like, well, what happens at the at the end of Endgame, and how do they explain that? Blame Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror changed up the whole timeline. So whatever happened in the 19999, look, it's on the back burner now. It's on the shelf. So Chadwick can stay there, immortalized on the shelf. Now we gonna deal with the Kang era. It's not that difficult to sit here and use the plethora of options in storytelling. And I know some people are like, oh, you don't know how hard it is to write stories. I don't have to know how hard it is. I know that if you have a plethora of options, that you're not handcuffed to only do one thing. It's difficult when you have limited options, because as a creative, that sucks. Nobody wants to be constrained creatively. But when you have fiction and you have all these different avenues you can take, that's actually, yes, it is easier. Relatively speaking, it is far easier. Now, I will say I do like the fact that he did mention, of course, that we should trust this comic book world, and that we should trust possible futures, dimensions, multiverse. Thanks. Thank you. And I think if anything, that is the least that can be said, because it's literally confirming what I've just said about how it's fiction and how they have options, how they can do so many different things to make this work. So now it is going to be brought into question. How exactly are you guys going to do this? How exactly is whatever you choose to do in the movie, how is that honorable compared to all the other options that you could have taken? Again, this is one of the reasons why I'm going to actually watch the movie and judge it for what they show. And I want to see, like, okay, does it make sense? Because I've already said, killing a character off multiple times, I don't see the honor in that. I don't see it. If y'all see it, please let me know. Explain to me how killing a character multiple times and having a character be dead longer than they've been a superhero or a king is an honor. Y'all let me know. I'm not being facetious. For real. Let me know how that is more honorable if that's the route they take. Because I don't get it. I don't understand how ending someone's work rather than continuing it is honorable. But I'm going to watch the movie and see how they justify it, and then I'll judge that as well. So at least the multiverse exists. That's great. And I guess we'll just have to wait. I don't know. All right. Y'all let me know. How do you feel about Winston Duke's comments? Does it bring you a little bit of comfort that maybe he's talking about a multiverse? Does it maybe you just disagree? I don't know. You let me know how you felt about Winston Duke's comments in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. That was the last topic, but I got some comments here. So let me scroll up so I can get them real quick. Okay, I'm caught up. I'm going all the way back. There we go. Ali, what you got? I understand. My mom passed in 2020 in the heart of the pandemic. Sorry for your loss. I still panic at that thought of going home and her not being there. Healing takes time. Yes. Yes, it does. We're still grieving. family losses as well. And it does take time. And that's the thing. Like, one thing I've learned is that, you can't make important long-term decisions when you're in an emotional state of grief. It's just not the best. When you're compromised like that emotionally, it's not the best time to be sitting here trying to figure out long-term stuff. It's tough. Like, to be honest with you, I don't know how any family is able to move on and deal with like insurance and deal with funeral homes and deal with family and do like all this stuff when you just lost a loved one. Like, whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. But thank you for that, Aleve. I appreciate you. Comeback season, what you got? Hey, man, one of my favorite podcast named Mallory Bros recently gave their thoughts on the Recast T'Challa movement on their latest episode. If you're interested in tuning in, starts at 34:10. Okay, I'll see if I can check that out. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Let's see. I saw another one. I guess I got to read y'all comments because y'all had a lot to say. Sim, what you got? Thank you so much. Super late, hopping on, just sending a little appreciation. Thanks as always for this forum. No, thank you. Thank you for making this possible, keeping the lights on. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate it. Let's see. My man Nelson V is in the building. What's going on, sir? Let's see. I think Duke is on the fence and playing both sides. Marvel should say T'Challa we know is from the MCU 19999 and replace him with an MCU 616 variant. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. Like I said, you have options in how to preserve Chadwick's role and his version and just do a recast. Like, it's not as mind-jarring as some people think it is. I mean, we just saw Daredevil come in. That's not the same Daredevil. Heck, even the Loki that we just got is not the same Loki that we've had since forever. We just saw Loki literally be turned into an alligator and a woman and a black brother. Like, those are all Lokis. They're all Lokis. So, like, yes, this can work because it's fiction, and you just need good writing to make it make sense. Like, it blows my mind how people act like these things are so much, like they're so difficult to conceive. Because a lot of times we believe a lot of different weird things on screen just because it's on screen. Nobody flinched when y'all saw a talking raccoon or a talking tree. Like, you roll with it. Like, we will understand. Yes, we can have our time to grieve. We can mourn. We can do all of that. But my goodness, let's stop acting like we don't have options here. Oh, Nelson, thank you so much for that. What is this? Kano, what you got? You could tell he sees the importance of T'Challa. What I heard is the party line almost verbatim mixed in with how he sees T'Challa as a character. Just speculation, but I think he wants to see T'Challa back too. Maybe. I think it all depends, right? Like, I like the fact that he is saying without saying, it's a comic book world and a lot of other things can happen. I just wish he would apply that logic to this film. And I wish he would apply that logic with the potential that they could do with this version of T'Challa. I think that would be something that everyone could win. Everyone could win. But yeah, I am happy that he did mention that T'Challa, the character and not the mantle, is significant and important. So I do appreciate that from Winston, reiterating that fact, because unfortunately, from the top down, from the top all the way down, you have way too many people that are getting bamboozled. And I would argue being intellectually dishonest about the significance of the mantles. Because as I've said, just because something is a mantle does not make it important. It does not make it the catalyst. It does not make it the foundation of any story. We don't care about mantles. I don't care how much people want. I swear people be lying. Like, they might not know that they're lying. They might not know because they probably haven't thought it through. I don't believe them when they talk about, oh, well, the mantle. No. You really mean the character. Because when you step back in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to remember the mantle. You're going to remember the characters that define the mantles, which he mentioned. He mentioned, Chadwick defining the character. Now, I also think that he falls victim to conflating the character with the actor. Like, I think he's also of that mindset that they're one and the same. And I'm like, follow-up question I would have asked him if I were Jemele Hill. Chadwick said he wanted us to see the role and not him. How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that? He wanted you to see T'Challa and not him. He wanted you to see Jackie Robinson and not him. Thurgood Marshall and not him. How do you respond to that? Like, that's the type of follow-up question that I would have asked him, since he wants to kind of put them all together. But I don't know if I'll be able to ask those questions. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you, Kano. I appreciate you. Cynthia, what you got? I know Foggy saw Chadwick's video where he said the role was bigger than him. I don't know if he did. I don't know. I mean, you'd be surprised at how isolated Marvel would like to be. Like, they will be like, we're going to tune a lot of stuff out. But at the same time, you'd be surprised at the things that they do pay attention to. So I don't know. I wish they did. Like I said, I wish that was a follow-up question that somebody would have asked them. That would have been great. But well, I don't know. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Deborah, can I get that? Of course you can. Of course. Thank you so much for that. You could definitely get that. Let's see. Baby Bear, it's funny because I was watching John Campia, and he defined hypocrisy based on a comment someone left on his show. Then he said that Harrison Ford playing Thunderbolt Ross isn't hypocrisy, but I disagree. I don't know the context of whatever that is or whatever he was talking about, so I would have to hear what was said, what was compared. So I'm sorry, I can't give you more into that specifically. But I would say that it is hypocritical depending on where you land. And I just reposted the replay of that video where I say that, like, you're going to run into a conundrum. You're going to have a problem where you say, well, first, as I mentioned, I don't compare the character of T'Challa or the actor of Chadwick with William Hurt or Thunderbolt Ross. I'm not comparing them in the first place. Second, I don't think that not recasting is a good thing. So because I don't accept those early presuppositions, I'm of the mindset that, well, you only recast when you find value in that character or their story. Hulk used to be a leading character, and unfortunately, because of character rights and stuff, he couldn't continue making lead movies, but they found value in his character, so they recast and kept telling his story. That's why they recast. They could have easily just been like, Hulk is gone. He ain't coming back. Ed Norton took him and went to some other place, and they're meditating, and they'll never come back until the rights come. They could have done that. But Marvel found value in the character and the story to keep it going. So in my mind, it is hypocritical when you say, we're going to recast because this character means so much that we have to keep showing them and we have to keep telling their story. But then we're not going to recast this character because we love them so much, we're going to stop their story prematurely. That is hypocrisy. That is a logical contradiction. It doesn't even, actually, it's even worse, I would argue, if you were to say if you were to use the argument of, well, one's a lead character and one's a supporting character. Don't lead characters have more significance? Lead characters have way more significance in their story and portrayal than some supporting character. You can get rid of supporting characters Ain't nobody finna care if some random supporting character is gone. I mean, again, you can like those characters, like let's say Pug, Pug from or Foggy, from Netflix. Okay, but I'm not saying the characters are terrible, but if Daredevil Reborn continued and they said, yeah, me and Foggy split up and he went and did a practice in India or something, I don't know. You still there for Daredevil because that's his show. So again, it is a contradiction. I'm sorry, it is. It's a problem to say we value you this much. We're not going to recast. We value this character that much. We're going to recast. Like what? What? That does not make sense. So I don't know. Again, I'm not going to comment on Campia per se because I don't know what the context was or whatever. But to the general idea of hypocrisy, it is there because that is a problem when you try to compare the two and say this means an honor. Nope, this means significance. No, that's important. But the actions are different. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Daniel, what you got? Hope all is well, but Wakanda noticed the variant looks different. Loki, Daredevil, same actor. I believe Coogler knows T'Challa is important to little boys and girls that uplift his community. Maybe. But the variant looks different. No, I mean, if you're talking about Loki, no, they didn't. Loki had different looking actors, had an alligator. Loki had an alligator. Loki had a woman. That was Loki. Loki had a black man. That was Loki. Loki had Tom Hiddleston, that looked like him. Loki had the wide gamut showing that variants don't have to look the same. Maybe they do look the same. Daredevil looked the same. That doesn't mean that all Daredevils in all the multiverses look the same. They might all just look different. That's the whole point. Variants can come in all different shapes and sizes. Again, Loki was an alligator. Okay, so literally anything is possible because it's fiction. But about Coogler knowing the importance of little boys and girls to uplift them, I think, given the fact that we have seen people grieve differently, clearly people also perceive honoring and tributing differently. So I'm not going to just assume that one person's idea of upliftment is the same as everyone else's. Coogler might believe that, but maybe he executes it in a way that's not the same or consistent with other people's perception. That is just the reality of having free will and having difference of opinions. So this is again why, and I think what you're really touching on is the intention and the heart. And I agree, Coogler has the right intention. His heart is in the right place, but that's not what I'm questioning. That's not what I'm judging. I've never even criticized where their heart or intentions go because I think they all are meaning to do well. That's not up for debate. That's not on the conversation for me. I'm never going to sit here and say they're trying to be evil. They're doing bad things. That's not the conversation that's being had. What I'm talking about is what's the execution? If the execution is to kill off the character multiple times, and you mean that well, you think it's a tribute, I'm going to have an issue with that. Not with your heart, but with your action and execution. That's the difference. So sure, yes, he means well. He wants to uplift the kids. Great. Will he actually do that? That's a whole different story. But thank you for that comment. I appreciate you. I think we are at the end right there. So yes, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for coming out tonight. Of course, there's no way that I would be able to end this without reminding y'all that we are $2,300 in to the Wakanda Forever Challenge. We are so close. Y'all have been coming through, doing so great. I want to thank y'all so much. I mean, it's only been up for like 4 days, and we're almost at the halfway mark of the $5,000 reach our goal. I definitely encourage y'all please help make this go viral. If you're gonna post Recast T'Challa, post hashtag Wakanda Forever Challenge as well. Make people also understand that yes, just like Recast T'Challa, that was made to honor Chadwick and the role of T'Challa, so is this challenge. This challenge is also there to remind people that this has always been about bringing honor and respect and celebrating the work and life of Chadwick Boseman and for T'Challa all together. So please go ahead and do that. I'd really appreciate it. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta say thank you so much to Treble Clef. Thank you so much for that. Listen, I'm trying. I see it. I'm looking at the clock like, okay, we almost there, under 2 hours, y'all. But nah, for real, I do want to thank y'all once again. We are not going to have a live on Friday. It's the Mrs. birthday, so I'll be taking her out on that semi-hot date. We're gonna have a good old time at that. And I will reschedule a live probably for Saturday or something like that. So keep an eye out for it. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. Yes, we will do that. And don't forget to donate something. I don't care, $1, 99, whatever you can put into that Wakanda Forever challenge. Really appreciate it. I'll put the links all in the description as well. Definitely appreciate y'all. But anyway, I am trying to get under this 2-hour mark. So without further delay and all that, y'all make sure y'all have a fantastic weekend. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and I will see y'all later. All right, y'all. Peace.
Say T'Challa, we need a recast. Chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories, how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how is that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause the lack of seeing our faces. Shuri can be the queen of the nation. Women should feast, we want elevation. Now wouldn't it be dope if they rose up together without doing something as cold as erasing them? We got respect for Ryan and Nate. They doing their best, they stuck in the middle, but I hope they think about what is at stake. Don't rush it, but please let the saga continue. Doubling down on Black Death is a trope we no longer want to handle. Wakanda forever, T'Challa forever. It's never been about the man, so what is we saying? This ain't about Phantom and getting my way. It's all for the love, it's not for the hate. No matter what people are trying to say, recast T'Challa. Recast T'Challa.